Alright, so welcome back to some more MX versus ATV All Out. Today we are going to do a bike versus bike again. We're using the 250 4-stroke versus the, excuse me, the 250 2-stroke at Arlington. Now, when I was picking tracks, this was similar to how Anaheim was. It's a bit more of a simple track, nothing too crazy, and it has lines that I can hit consistently. Now, there's definitely faster lines in that last section. You can kind of triple in, and it's a little bit faster, and then on the back section there's a couple lines that are a lot faster, but I'm trying to hit the consistent line that I can hit every single time with both bikes. Does that make sense? Because I think that's most fair. I mean, you can 5 this, quintuple that baby, but I think that was a 5. I'm not sure now, but just kind of stuck with the quad because that's more consistent, and you can triple over this table and then quad, I guess, over, and then double, and then triple over this triple here. But it was just a little less consistent. It's not a hard line, but this track also lagged a little bit more. So when in the corners is where it bothers me most. If I'm going down a straight or rhythm section, the little bit of lag doesn't bother me, but this track had some lag issues. Now, funny story, I would have maybe done something different or went to a different track, but I recorded for 3.5 hours, I would say. 3.5 hours. Let's round that up to 4, and got 10 minutes of footage. I did nothing to this video. I cut it at the beginning so it started nice, and then I cut it at the end so it ended nice, and then kind of mushed it together so it transitioned to the 250 2-stroke kind of nicely and seamlessly. So I didn't really do anything, and it took that long. The reason it took that long is because my game, it's not the crashing. It crashed once. I got some kind of PlayStation game error or whatever. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm sure some of you guys have seen that already. But when I started it back up, my progress was wiped again. I know I've seen a lot of people commenting about that. My progress was wiped, and then I was starting to grind for moto coins again. The easiest and quickest way for me to grind for moto coins is do the freestyles pretty quick, but you don't get a lot of moto coins. What I do is I'll bump the difficulty up to all time and then do the amateur arena cross series. I'll do that just multiple times and grind it out that way, and then a lot of times you have enough to kind of do what, or at least I do, I have enough to do kind of what I want to do. But anyways, I was working on that, and then I was probably halfway done. I had the 250F fully upgraded, the 2-stroke bought, and then it crashed again. And I lost all my save game data, so I had to do it again. I was just like crossing my fingers, please don't crash, please don't crash. And it didn't this time, and I kind of got to it, and I want to do the 450, I want to use the 500, I want to do like the 500 versus the 125. There's a bunch of things I want to do with it, but my game keeps crashing, so it's like really hard to get enough coins to buy all that stuff and get it unlocked. Now, they do have a patch supposedly to fix the save game data as well as frame rate and a whole bunch of other stuff, so hopefully that at least for sure the save game data, that one's pretty frustrating to deal with. The frame rate is kind of tough too. Like even on this track, it's where you're seeing the lag, it was lagging like that for me. Like the game itself was just lagging like that, and some tracks run smoother than others. For the most part, when I ride by myself, not with the AI, it's not really a problem. But I don't know, Arlington, I'm just on the regular PlayStation, and I'm not saying that it's the PlayStation's fault, okay? Someone was getting upset. They're like, oh, don't blame the PlayStation. I'm not blaming the PlayStation. I'm just saying I'm on regular PS4. I've seen people on PS4 Pro say that they're getting screen tearing and frame drops and stuff like that. So, yeah, I would have liked to have maybe picked a different track. I like this track. It worked really well for it, but it was just a little on the laggy side, which made my laps a little inconsistent. The fastest one we've run here is 1:12.08, it looks like, and I believe that's the fastest lap we're going to get, and then we're on the final lap with the 250F, and then we'll switch over to the 252 stroke and kind of talk about that a little bit, and you can see which is better. But this one was a little bit more interesting to me than the 125 versus the 250, just because the results don't really explain it very well. The results of the test, I guess, the bike testing, because it's a bit deceiving, a little bit. And when we finish this lap, I want to wait till we get to the 2-stroke before we get to that, but it's a little bit deceiving. So one thing I want to do, or maybe I mentioned it already, I do want to do 450 versus 250 2-stroke, 450 versus 125, 500 versus 125. You know, just fun things like that because I think it's interesting and it's just something fun to do. But we are switching over to the 250 two-stroke here, and we have to beat a 112.08 or tie it or not beat it and find out which bike reigns supreme, I guess. So one thing here that was a little deceiving is the triple in is faster. Okay, hitting that triple in here and then continuing that rhythm through that section is quicker. And with the two-stroke, I had to choke up a lot more than I did. Well, not a lot more, but I did have to choke up more than I did with the 250 four-stroke. With the 250, you choked up some, but it worked better to hit that double triple. It worked really well. And then I think I don't know if we get that 5 cleanly, but we do attempt it and I wasn't trying very hard. So the deceiving part about this is even though we're going for the same lines essentially that we were going for with the 250 four-stroke, you had to hold this thing back more. So, you know, I could have turned a much faster lap just going and trying to hit the regular line, you know what I mean? And so it's a bit deceiving. I think this might be our fast lap. I'm not sure. We'll find out. I think I turned it right away and then nothing was ever faster than that. Yeah, a 1:11.91. So we already beat the 250F just on our first lap there. Because it starts you on, excuse me, when you go past the finish line, it automatically counts as a lap, even though you haven't finished one. So, yeah, the 250 two-stroke is clearly better, but it doesn't look like it's a lot better. It's more than that, because with this bike, you can hit the bigger lines quite a bit easier. I just was curious, you know, if it could come out of the corners a little bit better, if you could carry your speed a little more, and all that stuff, how much it affected it. Even trying to go for the exact same lines. I mean, we don't get over that, but it wouldn't be too terribly hard to hit it. And I'm guessing the 450 can probably hit it even easier. And I'm not saying that the 250 can. It's just, I think it would be easier. And the 250 two-stroke hits this line, not this one, but where you would double and then triple here. It hits that line a lot easier than the four-stroke does, and then it hits a pretty good line here. I think we actually try to triple in on that, and it's just so much easier on this bike than it is the 250F. So clearly the two-stroke is the winner. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the rest of the video I just kind of wanted to talk about the save game data. A few people were asking me. I think I mentioned it in the video before this one, the 125 versus the 250, but I'm not sure when this video is going to go up, and I'm not 100% sure when the patch is coming out. It could be out already. It could be a day one on the 27th, the official release date. I don't know when the patch is going live. People were asking me if I was having problems with save game data. Yes, I already said it. It happened twice to me in this session, and I never actually turned my system off. So, yeah, I'm having save game data issues, and what I do, the only thing that I found that kind of fixes it is to delete all the save game data off your system, off your PlayStation or Xbox. I don't even know if Xbox is having that same problem or if that's just PlayStation or what, but no matter what system you're on, the only thing I found that kind of fixes it is to delete all save game data off the system. I uninstalled one time, but I don't think you have to do that. I think just cleaning your save game data for the game fixes it kind of. Now, when I did it one time, it lasted for a day or two and multiple times of turning off, turning on, and everything was great. And then the next time I did it, it didn't work at all. I got back in and it saved everything. Everything was great, and then turned my PlayStation off, and then I come back on, turn it back on, and it's gone again. So it's just like, cross your fingers, man. It's like 50%, you know, 50% it's gonna work, 50% it's not going to. And I think for me, that's probably one of my biggest complaints about the game is that the save game data. I mean, it's like running on a treadmill, man. You know, it's like you're running and running and running and running, and you're not getting anywhere. You know, you'll grind out and play and feel like you have all this progress, but not actually get anything accomplished. So it's a little frustrating, but they do say they have something to fix it. I believe they do, and that'll improve the overall experience in the game quite a bit, as well as hopefully frame rate. So, yep, the two-stroke 250 is faster, is better in-game than the 250F, and I want to test a few more. Let me know which ones you'd like me to test if you want to see it. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, Take it easy.